Thank you for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, on NSEN Sports, where we just like to chill and keep it real. I'm Channing Martin here with my co-host.
I'm Chris Townsend. After being swept by the Detroit Tigers in the American League Championship Series, many expect the New York Yankees to clean house, starting with third baseman Alex Rodriguez. Rodriguez was benched in 3 of the 9 playoff games, and many have speculated that the Yankees would attempt to deal him after the season. Yankee skipper Joe Girardi had this to say to the allegations.
And I expect Alex to be our everyday third baseman. I do. What's he going to have to show me? That he's healthy and ready to go. I mean, that's the bottom line.
Rodriguez has 5 years and $115 million left on his contract.
The NFL season has been as exciting as advertised, but if it ended today, I'm going to let you know who would be taking home some of the hardware. There have been many quarterbacks that have stood out, but only a few are playing at an MVP level. Aaron Rodgers is duplicating his amazing 2011 campaign with some staggering performances as of late. In his last 4 games, he has thrown 16 touchdowns and only 4 interceptions, and is completing more than 70% of his passes. At running back, Adrian Peterson is running the ball like he's mad at the ground, and the Vikings are giving him more touches every week. Peterson has rushed for 652 yards and 3 touchdowns, while averaging 5 yards per carry this season. Although A.J. Green's Bengals are struggling as of late, he hasn't slowed down. Green is having a monster season already, grabbing 44 passes for 636 yards and 7 scores. On the other side of the football, J.J. Watt has been a defensive monster, disrupting every offense he has faced. Watt has 34 tackles, 10 pass deflections, 2 fumble recoveries, and a league-leading 9.5 sacks. Last but certainly not least, the best player in the defensive backfield so far this season has clearly been Atlanta Falcons free safety Thomas Decoud. Decoud has already picked off 4 passes, deflected 6 passes, forced a fumble, and recorded 27 tackles. Decoud is a big reason the 6-0 undefeated Falcons are defending the pass so much better than the previous 2 seasons. Tune in tonight at 8:30 on NFL Network to watch the Minnesota Vikings take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong, we belong, we belong, we belong together.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Every day, I rise above it.
The best conference in America is featuring some hard-hitting, fast-paced, and in-your-face games on Saturday. The SEC has 3 games this weekend that have big implications for the outcome of the conference and the nation. The South Carolina Gamecocks are coming off 2 straight tough conference losses. The Gamecocks host the Tennessee Volunteers, who are coming off 3 straight tough losses. This game might just have Vol coach Derek Dooley's job riding on it. South Carolina could still have a chance at the SEC East title if they win out. The #1 ranked Alabama Crimson Tide play host to the 11th-ranked Mississippi State Bulldogs Saturday in Tuscaloosa. Dan Mullen leads his undefeated Bulldogs into a very hostile environment for their first test of the season. Some argue that Alabama hasn't had a real test either this season, but they have dominated everyone that they have played by a very wide margin. It should be a great matchup of SEC power and speed to determine the front-runner in the West. The NCAA Game of the Week takes place in Jacksonville, Florida on Saturday afternoon. This matchup of powerhouse SEC East teams, the Florida Gators and the Georgia Bulldogs, is known as the world's largest cocktail party. The number 2 undefeated Gators are looking as good as any team in the country up to this point. Their defense is playing tenacious, and their offense is starting to move the ball with consistency. The number 10 Bulldogs are coming off a close victory over the Kentucky Wildcats last weekend. Georgia has as much talent as any team in the nation, but hasn't figured out how to put it all together at one time. Their only one loss was at South Carolina earlier this year. The Gators hope to ensure an SEC East title with a big victory in Jacksonville, and the Bulldogs hope they can do the same. The kickoff is at 2:30 on CBS. It should be a classic battle in their interstate rivalry. Thanks for tuning in, folks. This has been the meat and potatoes of SEC football. Tune in next week, and I'll fill y'all in with all the action.
Okay, so a couple weeks ago, my picks weren't exactly what some people would call accurate or correct. I made a few miscalculations, and that lucky little whiny baby, Eli Manning, made me look like a fool for picking the 49ers over the Giants. He isn't as good as Peyton, nor will he ever be. He will always live in his brother's shadow. He will always be inferior. He will always be a joke to me. But hey, this ain't about Eli, it's about me. You don't want me going on a rant right now because we would be here all night. So for the sake of the show, let's just go ahead and get into this week's picks. The 49ers embarrassed themselves a couple weeks ago, but more importantly, they embarrassed me. No one in their right mind would have thought the Giants would come into San Fran and give the Niners a beating like that. That 26-3 loss was the most lopsided defeat of Coach Harbaugh's tenure at San Francisco. Well, the Niners are going into Arizona this week to take on the Cardinals for a little Monday Night Football action. The Cardinals have been struggling lately. They started the season 4-0 and have since lost their last 3 games. And now that their quarterback Kevin Kolb is out, I don't see them improving very much. On defense, the 49ers rank first in yards per game allowed and give up the school lowest points per game with 14. The Cardinals' defense is nothing to laugh about either. They allow the 4th fewest pass yards per game and easily have a top 10 overall defense. However, the 49ers have been running all over teams this season. They earn the most rush yards per game among the league, mostly thanks to that wildcat they've been running with Colin Kaepernick. Arizona's backup QB Skelton is going to have his hands full Monday night with that stout San Francisco D. So I'm taking the Niners over the Cardinals 24-10. Michael Vick's old team, the Atlanta Falcons, will be traveling to Philly this weekend to take on the Eagles. This game is going to have a lot of emotion behind it because the Eagles have struggled with Vick this season and the Falcons are undefeated. The Dirty Birds have been playing extremely well this season, mostly from their quarterback Matt Ryan tearing past defenses apart. The Falcons are averaging almost 30 points a game and only giving up 19. Their passing attack is top 10 among the league, and it's easy to get the job done when you have so many weapons on offense. The Eagles have a good offense too, and they have plenty of weapons at Vick's disposal, but it's kind of sad that they only average 17 points a game. It's probably from Vick not being able to hold on to the ball. Vick's thrown 8 interceptions this year and fumbled the ball 9 times. Yeah, I said it 9 times. And when you've only thrown for 8 touchdowns, you can't be fumbling and throwing picks like that. Brett Favre would throw a couple picks a game, but he'd also bomb 2 or 3 touchdowns too. Vick is just a gamble each week. You never know what you're going to get. He would be a nightmare for any fantasy owner, and I'm glad to say that he's not on my team, that's for sure. Since Vick is so iffy, I'm going to take Atlanta over Philly 28-24 and move to 7-0 for the season. Now, one of the most exciting players, if not the most exciting players to watch this season has been Robert Griffin III. RG3 has been living up to the hype since the draft and giving people in Washington a reason to watch football on Sundays. Griffin has scored 13 touchdowns this year, 7 through the air and 6 on the ground, and only thrown 3 interceptions. That's pretty crazy for a rookie. This has been why some folks at ESPN have said Griffin has been having the best rookie season of any quarterback in history. That's debatable. The Redskins will be going to Pittsburgh this Sunday to take on the Steelers, and it's going to be a real test for Griffin and that passing attack. Washington has the worst pass defense in the NFL, so Griffin is going to have to put up good numbers this weekend to keep the Redskins in the game. The Steelers have the second best pass defense in the league, so it's not going to be easy for this rookie to come to Steeltown and put on a show. RG3 is probably going to wow the crowd and impress a lot of people as the season goes on, but I think he's going to run into some trouble this week against Pittsburgh. And if he tries to scramble outside the pocket, he's really going to run into some trouble. We all remember what happened when he tried that with the Falcons a few weeks back. Griffin left the game with a concussion and didn't know simple math. Since Washington's defense is horrible and Griffin is going to be under too much pressure, I'm taking Pittsburgh over Washington 31-27. Since Peyton Manning no longer plays for the Colts, the Titans may start beating Indy once or twice this season. The Titans and Colts both have pretty bad defenses, although I would say the Colts are slightly better. Tennessee gives up a league worst 34 points per game, ouch, and allows the third most yards per game. Indy's defense is ranked in the top 10 in pass defense, but their run defense is worse than Tennessee's is, and I didn't think you could get much worse than that. I expect this game to be very high scoring with many exciting plays. Reggie Wayne is probably going to tear the Titans up because him and Luck are already developing some chemistry. However, I think Tennessee's crafty veteran QB Matt Hasselbeck is going to have a good enough game to get the job done. I'm taking Tennessee over Indianapolis 38-24. I'm trying to redeem myself from a pathetic week a couple weeks ago. I've been at it all week breaking these games down so you can make some money if you listen to me. You got to listen to me, guys. But thanks for tuning in to Fans Favorites here on NSEN. Make sure to tune back in each and every week here on Channel 10.
One of my biggest passions in life is animals. That's why I've worked with Morris Animal Foundation for over 40 years. Morris Animal Foundation is a world leader in helping animals live longer, healthier lives. You can too. Just show your support at morrisanimalfoundation.org.
To help cats, dogs, horses, and wildlife live healthier lives, visit morrisanimalfoundation.org, where we are advancing science that will create a healthier tomorrow for animals.
What if there was a way to heal someone? To have the power to stop someone from dying? There is a way. And it's you. Thousands of patients are searching for a marrow donor. Join the Be the Match Marrow Registry and be the one to save a life.
Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong, we belong, we belong, we belong together.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Every day, I rise above it.
After Monday night's game, it's clear that Dwight Howard's back is back. He put up 19 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks. A phenomenal performance for Superman after the speculation as to whether he would be able to dish out the same performance post-back surgery. But now Dwight is stirring up a little controversy as to why he did not receive the 2011-2012 Defensive Player of the Year award. He says the rumors surrounding his Laker trade had a part in him not receiving the award. And although there's no takebacks now, he says he will work harder this season as a Laker to obtain the award because overall, the defensive title is what he strives for every year.
There is still no good news for hockey fans to look forward to. The NHL has decided to cancel regular season games through November 1st. This is coming after talks between the league and the Players Association stalled last week. More cancellations are expected this week if the two sides cannot come to an agreement. As of now, the games are being considered postponed, so there is still a possibility of an 82-game season being played.
Delonte West has landed himself a suspension for the second time in less than a month with the Dallas Mavericks for conduct detrimental to the team. After last night's game against the Oklahoma City Thunder, an outburst occurred in the locker room between West and other teammates. West denies the claims that he had anything to do with any of the arguments that happened in the locker room and doesn't understand why he was asked not to show up at the American Airlines Center for practice. Last season, West proves to be a valuable player to the team, averaging 9.6 points in 44 games. But as of right now, it's unclear as to whether he will be able to be back in a Mavericks jersey anytime soon.
As the regular season wraps up, the Sun Belt crown is still up for grabs. The MTSU women's soccer team could win the regular season conference title on Friday. The Raiders will need to bounce back after they suffered their first conference loss to North Texas last week. MT will need to win their final game of the season against Western Kentucky to win the Sun Belt on Friday.
The holiday season is right around the corner, and so is the start of the MTSU men's basketball season. The MTSU men are trying to build off a record season last year, going 27-7 and winning the Sun Belt regular season title. The Blue Raiders have one of the hardest non-conference schedules in the season this year, and Coach Kermit Davis gives us his input on why they created this type of schedule.
Yeah, we talk a lot about having the loudest voice in the gym, and you hope the loudest voice in the gym is not the coaches, it's the players. And once that happens, the culture of your team really takes place.
Even with all these emphasized, MTSU is getting votes in the Associated Press Top 25, which has them ranked at 41 right now. MTSU is returning many key members to the team this year, including 6 seniors. Bruce Massey and Marcos Knight are 2 of the senior guards, and each are looking forward to a great season. Knight is hopeful the younger stars are prepared to take the roles of some of the stars that have left.
Everyone come out, support your Blue Raiders. Last year was exciting, 27 wins, but we're looking forward to a better year, 30-plus wins, if not more, deep run NCAA tournament. So come out, watch an exciting fast break, a couple highlights, come support the Blue Raiders.
Bruce Massey wants all of the fans to come out and support the Blue Raiders as they take on their tough non-conference schedule.
You know, our expectations are really high. You know, we're looking for those guys to come in and contribute at real early for us. You know, Nico Hunter, Trent Knight. We're looking for those guys to come in and help us out a lot.
What makes this non-conference schedule so difficult this season includes trips to Central Florida, Belmont, and Vanderbilt. They also host 2 of the SEC's tough opponents, the Florida Gators on November 18th and the Mississippi Rebels on December 8th. The Vanderbilt Commodores host the Blue Raiders at a neutral site on December 21st. The venue is the Bridgestone Arena, and the tip-off is at 7 p.m. The MTSU Blue Raiders kick off their season at home with an exhibition game November 5th against Auburn Montgomery, and the first regular season game will be November 9th against Alabama State with the tip-off at 7:45.
Lack of competition may mean the end of a 41-year-old tradition. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell says the league will consider dropping the Pro Bowl if the level of competition doesn't improve. This is coming after last year's Pro Bowl was one of the most disappointing in the league's history. The AFC won that game 59-41, making it the second year in a row where a team scored over 50 points and won by double digits.
With the NCAA basketball season starting up in the next week, the first top 5 rankings have been released, and there are some shocks that not many people expected at the top. The Big Ten Conference hold 3 of the top 5 spots, including the top spot overall. The Indiana Hoosiers are number 1 after a tremendous season last year, making it all the way to the Sweet 16. The Hoosiers finished with a record of 27-9 last year and fell to the national champion Kentucky Wildcats in the Sweet 16. Indiana is returning 3 seniors, including 2 of the top 3 scorers from last year. Christian Watford averaged 12.6 points per game and had a 46% three-point field goal percentage. Jordan Hulls averaged 11.6 points per game with a 50% three-point percentage. The Hoosiers' biggest challenge doesn't come until November 27th against the North Carolina Tar Heels. Now on to the number 2 ranked Louisville Cardinals from the Big East Conference. Louisville went 30-10 last year before losing to Kentucky in the Final Four. The Cardinals are only returning 2 seniors and 1 starter. Peyton Siva averaged 9 points and 6 assists last year, while Mike Mara was injured after 2 games last season. The Cardinals have an 8 underclassmen on their team this year. The defending champions Kentucky Wildcats are ranked number 3 this year and are the top SEC school. The Wildcats went 38-2 last year, beating Kansas by 8 in the national championship match. Kentucky is only returning 2 seasons, while 4 freshmen have taken the place of the draftees from last year, including 3 of the top 15 recruiters. Kentucky has a difficult beginning to their schedule, facing 3 of the top 25 schools in their first 7 games. The Ohio State Buckeyes begin at number 4 this year. The Buckeyes won the regular season title and lost in the conference tournament title game. Ohio State went 31-8 while losing to Kansas in the Final Four. The Buckeyes are returning Evan Revenant as their senior, who is one of their 2 returning starters. Deshaun Thomas was their second leading scorer behind Jared Sullinger with 5.5 points per game and a 75% free throw rate. The Buckeyes have an easy road for their first 4 games before heading to the number 5, Duke. The final team on the top 5 is the Big Ten's Michigan Wolverines. The Wolverines finished 3rd in both the Big Ten regular conference tournament and standing with a record of 24-10. Michigan also lost to Ohio in the first round of the NCAA tournament. Michigan is returning 5 seniors, 3 big-time contributors to last season. Junior Tim Hardaway and Trey Brook led the Wolverines, averaging 15 points apiece and greater than 71% free throw shooting.
One of my biggest passions in life is animals. That's why I've worked with Morris Animal Foundation for over 40 years. Morris Animal Foundation is a world leader in helping animals live longer, healthier lives. You can too. Just show your support at morrisanimalfoundation.org.
To help cats, dogs, horses, and wildlife live healthier lives, visit morrisanimalfoundation.org, where we are advancing science that will create a healthier tomorrow for animals.
What if there was a way to heal someone? To have the power to stop someone from dying? There is a way. And it's you. Thousands of patients are searching for a marrow donor. Join the Be the Match Marrow Registry and be the one to save a life.
Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong, we belong, we belong, we belong together.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Every day, I rise above it.
Well, the MTSU women's basketball team will debut their skills at number 24 this season, and here is just a look at what is to come.
I would definitely definitely expect us to go undefeated in the Sun Belt. It'd be nice, you know, especially to do it as a repeat. Not many teams have done that 2 seasons in a row. So I definitely expect us to do that, and for sure expect us to win the Sun Belt championship.
Well, our upperclassmen have all come back in better shape. They're stronger, and they're shooting the ball better. And, you know, if you can believe that or not, we were already pretty good shooters, and we scored, you know, as far as our offense was concerned, we scored probably in the top 50% in the country.
I think our biggest expectation was just getting stronger as a team. We really worked hard with our strength and conditioning coach.
The women are looking to best their record from last year, which was 26-7.
Whatever we deny or embrace, for worse or for better, we belong, we belong, we belong, we belong together.
Underneath everything we are, underneath everything we do, we are all people, connected, interdependent, united. And when we reach out a hand to one, we can influence the condition of all. That's what it means to live united.
Every day, I rise above it.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're already into week 9 of the college football season and week 8 of the NFL season. It's amazing how we're already at the halfway point. To be honest, it's sad, but let's quickly recap the sports weekend. There's the old ball coach, Steve Spurrier, or what some call Steve Superior. Well, that wasn't the case Saturday for South Carolina. First offensive play for them, Connor Shaw stripped. Florida recovers inside the 5, set to take the lead at 7-0 early on. 3 plays later, the Gators do just that. Driscoll to tight end Jordan Reed for 6. Gators up early, 7-3 now. Second quarter, Driscoll this time finds Quentin Dunbar. Dunbar says, hey, it takes 2 to tango, but 3 to bring me down. He finds the end zone. Gators up 14-3. 37-8 as Frankie Hammond Jr. finds a seam in the red zone. Florida wins easy, 44-11. Next up, the Bulldogs down in Jacksonville. Up next, Ravens, Texans, battle of the best in the AFC. Matt Schaub sacked early on, but hey, it's like the old adage, sacks are better than interceptions. Joe Flacco, he can tell you all about that. Jonathan Joseph on the receiving end of this one takes it the other way for 52 yards and the score. Houston up early and often. Hold it right there, though. There's more. Schaub finds Owen Daniels in the back of the end zone. Texans up 23-3 and go on to win 43-13 the final. And now for the matchup everyone has been waiting for. Giants, Redskins under 2 minutes in the game. RG3 scrambles to his left, then to his right, and somehow, someway, finds his receiver all alone for the 4th down conversion. But 2 plays later, though, RG3 finds Moss, Santana Moss that is, for a 30-yard touchdown strike. What more can you say about Robert Griffin III? Giants down 3 now, only need 3, but Eli says, hey, I'll take 6. Cruz says, and so will I, scampers into the end zone, and the Giants reclaim the lead. Hey, producer, can I get some salsa music, please? Can RG3 lead his team to another potential game-winning touchdown, though? Giants think not. Giants think right. Moss fumbles, and that's a wrap. Giants 27, Washington 23. It's the World Series. Pablo Sandoval there pregame. Hey, it's Sandoval again. This time taking Justin Verlander deep center and gone. Giants up 1 early. Next at bat, Sandoval again. Filling deep left field, and this one's out of here. Sandoval 2 for 2 with 2 home runs in just 3 innings of work. Hey, Pablo, you had enough? No. New pitcher, same result. Sandoval 3, Tigers 0, and the Giants take game 1 of the series 8-3, the final. Well, that does it for me, Justin Beasley, NSEN.
All right, guys, we're just about out of time. Now, always remember, NSEN may come to an end, but sports never do. For Channing Martin, I'm Chris Townsend. See you next time, friends.
Take it easy.